Hi everybody. It was really nice seeing you all on the Zoom meeting today. I really enjoyed seeing everyone. I missed your faces and I miss you a lot. Just remember to keep coming to the Zoom meetings and we'll be able to touch base and chat and talk, and we'll, we can do our songs, we can sign and stuff like that, okay? All right, it was good to see you all. All right, I have a book for us today, and today's book is called Dogger. I have the video camera facing out towards me. As my other time that I went to tape it messed up, and so I don't want it to mess up again, so I have to keep an eye on it. All right, so this book is called Dogger by Shirley Hughes. Dogger by Shirley Hughes. I know you're seeing it backwards. I'm sorry about that. So I've gotten to see some of your real dogs, and I've gotten to see some of your real cats, and I even got to see the real pig. What? All right, so I think this is about a little stuffy, maybe a teddy. You might call it a teddy or a stuffy. All right. Once there was a soft brown toy called Dogger. One of his ears pointed upwards and the other flopped over. His fur was worn in places because he was quite old. He belonged to Dave. He's cute, huh? Dave was very fond of Dogger. He took him everywhere. Sometimes he gave him rides in a wagon. Sometimes he pulled him along on a leash made of a string, like a real dog. When he was cold, he wrapped him up in a bit of a blanket. Now and again, Dave's mom said Dogger was getting much too dirty. She showed Dave how to wash him in a bowl of soapy water. Then they hung him up by his tail on the clothesline to dry. See? Dogger went everywhere. And then they hung him up, washed him in a bowl of soapy water. He took good care of his Dogger, huh? Dave's baby brother, Joe, liked hard toys. He liked putting them in his mouth and biting on them because he was getting teeth. Dave's big sister, Bella, took 7 teddies to bed with her every night. She had to sleep right up against the wall to stop herself from falling out. But Dave liked only Dogger. See, that's his baby brother, only liking chewing on the hard stuff. Look, she's tight up against the wall. She has so many stuffies. But Dave only has Dogger, right? One afternoon, Dave and Mom set out to collect Bella from school. Mom took Joe in the stroller and Dave took Dogger. Next to the school gate where the moms waited was a playground. Some men with ladders were putting up colored flags. Mom said that they were going to be a summer fair to get money to buy things for the school. Dave pushed Dogger up against the railings to show him what was going on. Just then the children started to come out of school. An ice cream van came around the corner playing a tune. Bella ran up with her satchel flying. Mom, can we have ice cream? Mom gave her the money for 2 cones. Joe didn't have a whole ice cream to himself because he was too dribbly. See? They're waiting for the kids to come out of school. Do you remember doing that when you were little? Oh, now an ice cream truck. We don't have ice cream trucks that come to the school anymore. I think this was an old book. Be nice though, huh? On the way home, Dave walked beside the stroller, giving Joe licks off of his ice cream. Joe kicked his feet about and shouted for more in between licks. At supper, Dave was rather quiet. In the bath, he was even quieter. At bedtime, he said, I want Dogger. But Dogger was nowhere to be found. Uh-oh. Sad day. Have you ever lost your guy? It's tough, huh? Mom looked under the bed. She looked behind the cupboard. She searched in the kitchen. She went underneath the stairs. Dave watched anxiously through the banister. Joe watched through the bars of his crib. They're searching. Looks like they're searching high and low for him, huh? Poor Dave. I hope they find him. Bella joined in to look for Dogger. She turned out her own toy box in case he was in there, but he wasn't. When Dad came home, he looked for Dogger too. He searched in the shed and down the garden path with a flashlight, but Dogger was quite lost. Dave was very sad when he went to bed. Bella kindly lent him one of her teddies to go to sleep with, but it was not the same thing as Dogger. Dave kept waking up in the middle of the night and missing him. Everybody's looking for him, huh? I think everybody feels bad for Dave. Poor Dave, poor Dogger. The next day was Saturday. They all went to the school summer fair. The playground was full of stands and sideshows. We used to do a fair like this at Lehigh Acres Middle, and we had it set up kind of like that on the fields, in the side fields. It was really a lot of fun. We don't do that anymore. It looked very similar to this. There was a fancy dress parade. We did not do a fancy dress parade. I'm just making sure I'm getting it in the picture. Those are cute costumes, huh? Cute. Then there were games with egg and spoon races, a wheelbarrow race, and a father's race. Oh my goodness, huh? Almost looks like a field day, doesn't it? Bella was very good at races. She won the three-legged race with her friend Barbara. Wouldn't you like to go in for a race? They asked Dave. But Dave didn't feel like racing. He was missing Dogger too much. See, that's his sister winning the race with her friend Barbara. And Dave doesn't even want to do a race, does he? He's just feeling sad. Poor Dave. I feel really bad for him. Then another exciting thing happened to Bella. She won first prize in a raffle. It was a huge yellow teddy bear wearing a beautiful blue silk bow. He was almost as big as Dave, but Dave didn't like that teddy at all. At that moment, he didn't like Bella very much either, because she kept on winning things. He went off on his own to look at the stands. One lady had a toy stand full of knitted ducks and cars and baby dolls and bonnets. And there, at the very back, behind a lot of other toys was, what do you think it was? There's Bella winning her big kitty. And Dave kind of goes off, huh? There's the toy. What do you think Dave sees on there? Tucked way in the back. What do you think? Dogger! He was wearing a ticket saying 50 cents. There was a lot of people around the stand. Dave tried to explain to the lady that it was his Dogger, who had got lost and somehow been put on the stand by mistake, but she wasn't listening. He looked in his pocket. He had 10 cents, but that wasn't enough. He ran to find Mom and Dad to ask them to buy Dogger back at once. Dave went everywhere in the crowd, but he couldn't see Mom and Dad. He thought he was going to cry. At last he found Bella by the cakes. When she heard about Dogger, she and Dave ran back to the toy stand as fast as they could. Look it. Here's Dogger. 50 cents. Imagine. He's going to have to buy his own stuffy back. He couldn't find anybody, but he found his sister, see? Do you think he'll get Dogger back? But something terrible had happened. Dogger had been bought by a little girl. She was already walking off with him. Dave began to cry. Bella ran after her and tried to explain that Dogger really belonged to Dave, but could they please buy him back? No. She said that she had bought Dogger with her own money, and she wanted him. She held on to him very tightly. Dave cried and cried, and the little girl started to cry too. But out of the corner of her eye, she caught sight of Bella's big yellow teddy. She stopped crying and put out her hand to stroke his beautiful blue silk bow. There's the little girl walking away with Dogger. She looks pretty proud of herself for paying for it by herself, right? With her own money. And she doesn't want to give up Dogger, even after Bella explains what the issue is, right? Oh, poor Dave. Look at him. He's crying. Oh, my goodness. Oh, and then she says, oh, I think you got a big teddy bear. I like that one. Then Bella did something very kind. Would you swap this teddy for my bear's dog? She asked. Right away, the little girl stopped crying and began to smile. She held out Dogger to Dave, took the big teddy bear instead, and went off with him in her arms. Then Dave smiled too. He hugged Dogger and he hugged Bella around the waist. Thank you, Bella, he said. That night, Dave and Dogger in bed beside him, Bella was practicing somersaults. Will you miss that big teddy? Dave asked her. No, said Bella. I didn't like him very much, really. He was too big and his eyes were too scaring. Anyway, if I had another teddy in my bed, there wouldn't be room for me. Look at that. They exchange. Look, Dave has Dogger back. And the little girl's got the big teddy bear. She's happy, huh? The end. Oh, I think Dave and Dogger were very lucky. Don't you? I think they were. That was a cute story. Have you ever had a teddy that got missing? Has gone missing? Yeah. We've had that happen in our house. I had that happen to me when I was little too. I had a monkey, a little stuffed monkey, and his name was Monkey. And Monkey sometimes got misplaced, and it was terrible. Everybody had to look for him. We found him. I still have him to this day. He's pretty special, especially when you have a stuffy or a teddy that you really, really like. Yeah, it's good to have those things. Maybe even have a blanket. Some people have blankets. They don't even have stuffies. That's okay. It's what makes us us, right? And it gives us something to hold on to. All right. Okay, I'm going to stop, and then I'm going to pick another book, and I'll read another book, and you'll see me in the same shirt, because it's probably going to be for the rest of the week, too. All right. I'll see you in a few minutes. All right.